Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Hey guys, it's Dustin Wynn.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. And you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
I'm not going to make it through this.
You're ready to be having a lot of shit tonight.
Welcome back to Bat Force Radio. You're coming in right in the midst of us being a bunch of idiots here, so don't mind us giggling. But we are coming in here to continue the theme of the Halloween season. We just wrapped our most recent episode. This was our 8th annual Halloween Spooktacular with the legendary Kelly Jones. Thanks so much to Kelly for returning to spend some time with us once again. And we talked about the upcoming Dracula Book 3, The Count, from Kelly Jones and Matt Wagner. Go check out the Kickstarter for that. You've got a few days left before that ends. But to continue with that tonight, we've got some more thematically apropos content. Tonight we've got Grandpa Batman is here. Arrgh! We've got the Bat Force Times coming out of the past.
Ooh, go stick.
Jesus is over here. And I'm Robin Cross. I'm not going to do any spooky stuff. But we're here today to talk about a little mini-series from, 2004. So this is a Batman Full Moon.
2024.
2024. What did I say? Jesus Christ. I got all messed up talking about this ghost in Gramps' house here that we were just talking about. But yeah, 2024. Wow. So 4 issues from Rodney Barnes and Stevan Subic, who you also know from the Riddler miniseries written by Paul Dano, who played Riddler in the movie. But that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to just go over the story. If you've got the issues or the trade, or you know, something that rhymes with Schmeiret, pull up the issues, flip through it while we talk about it. And here we go. Gramps, you want to start us off on issue 1?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, just to kind of introduce this book, I've always wanted to see like this type of story where Batman versus a werewolf. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like some of my favorite horror creatures, universal monsters or whatever, I always like the werewolves. I mean, it's cool that Batman goes against vampires all the time. I mean, that kind of fits his theme and whatnot, but I don't think maybe there was one Neil Adams book in the 70s where he went up against a werewolf, but I can't remember any other stories like this. So I was always like, oh, I hope we get to see what would it be like if Batman went up against a werewolf. And when this title was announced, I was very excited. And of course, Wade had to wait a while for the trade to come out, but I'm very excited. It's so well done. It looks great. The cover is beautiful. I think everybody's reading out the trade tonight. So Subic's artwork, it's kind of that gritty. How would you describe it? Bat Force Times.
So he has this very fever dreamish style of dark, moody noir that is actually kind of modern too, because it does look quite digital. And what I was talking to with Teases earlier is how he kind of dips in and out, fluctuates between more tight, sharp rendering and more diffused, moody rendering to capture mood. For example, like when all the Gotham PD pulls up on their fight, it's diffused where it's like in a fog, right? Where they're just pulled up.
Yeah,
And
he
then when
has a
in
real
the
good
fight
sense of building that depth with the color palette.
Yeah, and if you notice, like each page, sometimes the color theory completely changes between warm and cold. Some pages, if you look, it'll be a lot of orange in it, which is really cool. That's like usually where the crime scene is. This guy knows what he's doing. I am the biggest fan of like gothic detective noir mood all-nighter kind of art in comic books. That's why I like Batman so much. And this guy really knows what he's doing with this story. So I really enjoyed it visually.
One thing that I noticed is that he puts a lot of emphasis whenever he does like close-ups of eyes. Like they look so real, especially like the book starts off where inside this laboratory, this person is confined in this chair, and we see them undergoing, a metamorphosis, and he's changing into a werewolf right there. And all these lab doctors and assistants are standing around watching him change into this creature. And then he just starts, tearing them up. And on page 2, we get this visual of his eyes during this, this metamorphosis. And I love that picture because, it doesn't look like human eyes at all.
Yeah, it's very big and glossy, and yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
I think the fact that he has 2 different colors too kind of represents how torn he is on the inside, right? He has this level of guilt. He knows who he is, but it's uncontrollable. He knows what's going to happen, right?
And we're introduced to this person. What's his name? Talbot?
Yes, that's the werewolf.
That's the werewolf. And so, he starts killing, this laboratory people. And then, we get introduced here to Batman, and the story starts taking off where, this crime happens. And of course, Batman's got to figure it out. And he doesn't really believe in the mysticism and the lore of the werewolf.
Yeah. So what's really good about what's I think also very well done about this story is how it introduces so many themes of science, black magic, spirituality, religion, lichen lore, vampire lore, like just it really gets a lot of that down packed in the story. So I thought that was a really cool touch too.
Yeah, I like the fact that they brought in some of the Justice League Dark characters like Zatanna and Constantine.
Can we talk about
bringing Man-Bat in there?
That was brilliant. I think Man-Bat was very clever because now you're really he's kind of synonymous with vampire lore, Man-Bat, and to bring that it gives a kind of an underworld theme when they're fighting. So that was cool. But I just wanted to talk about real quick that first scene of Zatanna. God damn! I didn't see that coming. I was like, man, that was pretty cool.
Well, and I know that they had dated in other stories, but in this book, they're in like a full blown relationship with each other.
Yeah, we call that the Bat-Tanna, boy.
The Bat-Tanna. Wow. She's got his antenna raised up, that's for sure.
And there's a lot of there's a lot of unspoken envy coming from Constantine, who's in this as well. A lot of good Justice League Dark elements and characters in this story, which is pretty cool too.
Some of these scenes where Christian Talbot as the werewolf, the beast, tearing apart these these lab people and just citizens of Gotham. He's talking about, and here's what's interesting. While he's doing this, there's this inner monologue where he's talking about his rage and release the fire, and just he knows what he's doing is wrong, but he can't stop whatever the hunger that this beast has, and he has this rage against humanity that he's unleashing when he changes into the wolf. I thought that was interesting to have, an inner monologue while he's in werewolf form. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, I think that's interesting because he can't verbally communicate as a werewolf, but you could still understand the thoughts going through his head as he's changed into an uncontrollable beast. So yeah, that was an interesting touch, and you don't really see that done in like movies and whatnot. So that being the fact that this is the written word, that was kind of interesting to get that perspective from him.
I mean, that's what makes this whole series just very elevated and sophisticated, because it gives him, no matter what, it still gives him that sense of humanity, even though it's a little bit.
Right.
He's thinking, as much as he cares and he wants to be different, he has no choice, right? The second he transforms, it's out of his control.
Right. He knows he's cursed.
Right. Exactly.
And he considers himself unforgivable, which is another part of this story where he's trying to seek redemption and seek a cure. And as we later find out, the reason why he was even in that chair and in that laboratory was because of whom?
How did he get there? That was a Wayne Tech.
He was in a Wayne Tech?
Yeah, pharmaceuticals. Yeah. Dosage facility advanced. And he was seeking was he seeking a cure? Because what was it? He was what? British
Langstrom was put him there.
Oh, Langstrom was okay.
Langstrom is the one that put him there. So I thought that was really a really cool twist, because even Langstrom is sitting, after the beast has been unleashed and killed some people and tore Batman up, that he's like, okay, now I got to take control of this, and he feels guilty because it's all his fault, basically.
And with all of these characters that got brought in, the Constantine, Zatanna, bringing Man-Bat in there, and then all of the regulars that have to be in basically every Batman story, there was a danger that could have, the other characters could have taken up too much real estate in the story and just made things kind of messy. But they did a really good job of balancing how much those characters came in, how much of a role they played, without keeping the story from flowing.
They even give a little backstory about how Christian Talbot came to be as the Wolfman. Apparently he was in the army in Romania, and
British Special Forces, I think.
Yeah, he was in some battle where he got separated from his troops, and a lichen werewolf, attacked him and left him cursed. And he woke up and got sent home, and then at the first full moon, he basically kills his own family. And he's stuck with the grief and the rage for doing that.
Yeah, that was a crazy touch where he's sitting at the dinner table with his family, and there's a window behind them, and then the next panel it's the same window, but I think there's just blood everywhere and just him.
Yeah, they were the dinner that night.
Yeah, so that was really
that's a little twisted. I like how Langstrom, he kind of looks like Doctor Strange in a bit with his little cloak.
Yes. Yeah, he looks that cloak, or even Ra's al Ghul. How he wore the same kind of cloak with that, the way it snaps on, and then the hair almost.
Now, I haven't read much Justice League Dark, so you'll have to clue me in. But I mean, at this point, in his history and in the Gotham mythos, is he fully aware that Bruce Wayne is Batman?
It seems like he starts to suspect it throughout this, but doesn't necessarily know. Not like clearly Zatanna does.
Well, Constantine definitely has no clue.
Yeah.
For a guy that has all these powers and can do all these things, he is so clueless. You know where his focus is at.
Oh yeah, he has a pretty clear focus throughout the whole story.
He expresses
he's after one thing
every page.
Yeah, can we quickly mention how cool it is where Batman has fire support drones. Like, like you see those things.
Yeah, that's a very much a Kingdom Come kind of Batman thing where he's got just this tech that goes around taking care of things.
Yeah, like just how there's like 3 bats on top of this orb, and then there's 2 drones attached via cables. I don't know. I got a kick out of that.
And you know what? The fire chief is still giving him shit over that. I was like, dude, he's helping you out.
There was a really good line in this book where the fire chief goes, "This is an active fire, Jim. I'm the fire captain. That makes me the heavy." And then Batman goes, "The bodies make Gordon heavier." I was like, oh, that was a line, man.
Yeah.
It's saying there are more bodies than there's fire. So, oh God, that was such a Batman line.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really make Batman just very stoic and very just emotionless, right? Like if you really zoom into like the panels, there's a really small little twinkle in his eyes, and he's, you know, this is a very serious kind of depiction in all these panels. You know, he's just very stone cold, and he's not always up front. I think, you know, I was talking to Bat Force Times earlier about this, and there's a part where he's really in the foreground a lot. You know, he's not really, almost like what Robin said. I think everyone's role in this story is kind of divided evenly at times, and Batman doesn't heavily take over the story.
His face is always on an angle,
Right.
like 95% of the time. You never get this clear shot of him, as if you, and that it's like, it's almost like the way he's rendering Batman in a way where the reader can't get up close and personal, intimate with Batman. There's this wall he's putting in front of him that he's stepping aside. It's really interesting. It's really cool. He's not accessible, I should say, the way they render.
Yeah, you're either looking over his shoulders or you're seeing him kind of move into the scene, and then they kind of zoom in where there's more action, where he's engaging with the wolf. They really start zooming in on like how fragmented and damaged he is because of the wolf is outclassing him in this case, right?
We're talking about their first encounter in the park, right?
Yeah, like this primal creature. You know, we know Batman have this incredible tech, but this wolf is just overpowering him, and he's fast, and he has these big claws, and no technology can stop this rage, right? He's getting just demolished, and it's fast, where he's just getting destroyed pretty much.
So the pace of this book is pretty quick because, I mean, we go from where the Beast gets out of the laboratory, and then Batman comes in, tells Gordon, hey, we're looking for something here. It kind of looks like an animal. And then they get like an alert of something going on in the park, and Batman says, get your guys to the park. And Batman comes in and confronts this werewolf full on without even really knowing what he's going up against, and gets his ass kicked, as usually what happens the first time he encounters one of these big bads.
And he also, sorry to cut you off, he also says, like, we could do this really quick and we can both make it to bed on time.
Yeah.
That was he thinks he's just going to be in and out and just wrap it up, right?
Right. He doesn't know who he's dealing with. And kind of like in DKR, he has to get his retreat with throwing a big bomb in the thing's face to kind of blind it and escape. I thought that was interesting. So that was Batman's first encounter with it. And then, then we get a little backstory about how the Beast came to be. And the Beast wakes up and finds himself amongst a group of people that live in this part of town that is like kind of like the Park Row or the
even worse than that, really. It's they describe it as being like the worst area.
Right, the worst area of Gotham that has been forgotten about, and they take him in and take him into a church, which give him some clothes and food. And who does he meet there? Sister Weeks, and she, she's a kind soul that she understands that he has some pain that he hasn't fully disclosed, and she's trying to comfort him with kindness. And she asks, "Would you be willing to pray with me, Mr. Christian?" And he says, "Yes, ma'am." And while they're praying, he turns into the werewolf mid prayer. And by this time, Man-Bat has tracked down where he's at, because these creatures like this, they kind of have a sense of where the other one is.
Yeah.
And Batman is not far behind. Now, here's one thing that I was thinking. Batman's already encountered this dude once. Wouldn't he come in with like some metal armor suit or something like that instead of going in with like his normal suit?
You'd think.
Yeah, especially when there's a clip where he's looking at different suits in the Batcave.
Right.
I think that one is after though, right?
What was that after? Yeah. The
Yeah,
one
I
on
think
the way
that's
to the
after
right
he's
looked
infected.
it looked high tech. The one on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them looked like kind of a first appearance-esque. That was kind of cool.
But we end book one with basically the Beast biting Batman. And as anyone knows, if you're bitten by a werewolf, you inherit the curse of the wolf. And that ends book one. What did you guys think as far as, the story, the plot, the pace, what happens there?
It had a really good opening when they're in the facility. It had horror movie vibes all along. Good pacing,
yeah.
It really got you going, sucked you into the story right away, which is good. And the title was a nice surprise. I went into this book not just having an idea about what it was going to be like, but I didn't really expect all these characters to be in it. So, they opened it really well. It definitely got you in.
I know I didn't expect for him to be bitten in book one, because then I was just like, oh my gosh, where's the rest of the story going to go now?
And they make that a good scene for the issue to end on. In the middle, like they're still in the midst of that fight where he gets bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Smart makes you come back.
Issue one, I jumped in. I felt like I had to slow down because I felt like the variation in the art styles, I think, was tempoed out, and I feel like visually you could really enjoy and see all these kind of different versions of what's happening, right? Like if it's this kind of dreamlike temperature versus, like, for me personally, as like a horror fan, I liked the one-on-one fight scenes because I felt like it was heavily detailed but not really heavy in colors. So I felt like that felt more brutal to me when I was reading that, as opposed to like the very cloudy, dreamlike state.
Believe him.
Believe.
Yeah, there's definitely, now that you mentioned that, a difference between the first half versus the second half of the book is kind of a more bright, cleaner palette as far as the colors. And then when we get into the fight, it's all red, right? Showing that rage and hate. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, that kind of continues through all 4 issues, where as you go on, as it gets more into all the horror aspect of it, where more and more is tied to all of that end of it. As things get darker, he starts getting really this atmosphere that, not that the style looks like it, but the atmosphere and his palettes kind of feel more and more like Dave McKean or Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was put out as a Black Label book. So, I mean, we're some of the images that we see. I love this. We've got people's arms getting ripped off. We got heads getting slapped off. They don't hold back.
Nope. We got, Zantana in that skimpy ass ripped jeans. So, that Black Label, baby.
And they didn't censor any of the naughty words either.
Yeah, no. Thank goodness. I really think, people curse in Gotham City. Like, even in continuity, I think it's okay to have a curse here and there.
You can't really have a Constantine without, some adult language, right?
Doesn't he say some shit like "fuck off"? Fuck off, you love.
No, I think Gordon said that because at one point he starts asking Alfred, where's Bruce? and he gives this
Yeah.
smart ass answer, and he's
He politely tells him to fuck off.
Yeah.
And Gordon says a simple fuck off would have done.
That's so good. Gramps, who do you think would win in a fight, the werewolf or Birthday Boy?
Oh man, jeez.
I know Gramps loves Birthday Boy.
Speaking of Birthday Boy, happy birthday to Robin.
Happy birthday,
Hey.
Robin! Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
He's our birthday boy.
Yep, that's our Birthday Boy.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting in that fight.
All right, so book 2 opens up, and this is basically. Have you guys ever seen what was it, American Werewolf in London?
Yep.
A while ago.
Where-
Yeah, good movie.
I just watched it recently, and it's like after he gets bit, you know, his senses start kind of changing, obviously, and he starts having these dreams where he's running through the forest, and the beast is taking over inside, first mentally, but also, you know, it's changing his physiology, and this opens up like a dream sequence of Bruce after he's been bitten, and it kind of makes me think, okay, his mind is kind of telling him what's to come. It's kind of a fever dream, you know.
Yeah.
And it, you know, there's these jaws right there, and it says, you know, on top of the jaws, I just noticed it says, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." And there's like a little boy version of himself standing in front of these big jaws. And the dialogue that's written over this is coming from Constantine, and he says, "Bruce Wayne is in the shitter."
Yeah. So he's looking at a younger version of himself after his parents were killed in this fever dream. Those jaws look like Killer Croc jaws. And it says on top, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." So
Yeah.
he's in a bad place. Transformation is putting him in a bad place. It's kind of bringing out the past demons and all that stuff out.
Yeah. And I love how Alfred, I mean, he wakes up and he's in the presence of Alfred and Langstrom and Constantine. And somehow Alfred convinces them that, oh, they were just out on their nightly walk and Master Wayne got bit by this werewolf. Even though Langstrom was there as Man-Bat and saw all this.
It is funny how he has a whole team helping him, like Alfred, Langstrom, Constantine, Zatanna, Gordon. Just it is it's a hell of a lot of people in a relatively short story.
But one thing that, if you'll notice, Bruce is looking at his hand and he's got the mark of the beast on his palm.
Pentagram.
Yeah, so he's been bitten and he doesn't realize it yet, but his world is about to turn upside down.
And you have Zatanna. I might be jumping, but I know Zatanna goes to the Dark Realm to try to split the cursed beast from Bruce.
Yeah, she's already working on it.
Yeah, and she can't do it. That was pretty. That was a pretty cool, intense scene.
It tells you how strong and old that magic is. If she
Yeah.
can't even touch it, you know.
Yeah, I like how they get into the lore of that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was cool where Zatanna brought Bruce into the spirit world and tried to separate the beast from him, like basically take it out of his soul.
Dark Realm, yeah.
Yeah.
She couldn't do it.
She couldn't do it. The beast was too strong. Gordon is questioning the what's her name, Sister Weeks at the church about, you know, what really happened here, and she's covering for Christian Talbot. Why do you think she's doing that?
Mercy.
Well, she knows that none of this is really him.
Yeah.
She to her own detriment, she keeps fighting for him, you know, the him that she knows is there.
It's the theme of redemption, I suppose.
There was a point when I was reading this that I was thinking that she's got some type of ulterior motive, like she wants to use him to do something.
Yeah, we're just too scared. We can't trust people anymore.
We can't trust people. We can't trust
Nobody.
people. You know, even a helping hand. Sometimes we get a little skeptical about that.
Did you guys get Bermejo Batman vibes from this Batman? Or the
Yeah, I can
Batmobile?
definitely see that, and his that's what I was gonna say. His Batmobile too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as like the feel of it wise, more so than the style. You know, like it's not as refined and detailed as what Lee would do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's just something about the feel of it.
And I think also at this point too, like when you see Zatanna trying to split Bruce in bridging that spiritual to the reality, and they can't figure out a scientific method to fix that. Where Bruce wants that, she references faith, right? And I think that's the common theme that you hear a lot of other characters when they have nothing to kind of provide a solution for. They still have that kind of common thread where they're saying, well, we're just going to see what happens. We have faith that something's going to unfold, right? Even Zatanna, who's a mystic, believes in faith to be her staple when certain things aren't happening.
You got faith, black magic, and even science, where Batman, to prolong the transformation, said that he converted the deflector system to emit ultraviolet light. So, you know, they're literally throwing everything they can to cure Batman of this curse. You know, like
for sure.
in
And
real
he's
time.
not even believing that it's going to happen. He's just kind of, you know, got his contingency plans. But Alfred is like, no, dude, you don't need to be going out there. It's going to be a full moon tonight, and Bruce is all kind of.
That's every story.
That's every story.
He's in the Batmobile, and Alfred's like, well, what are we going to do when you turn? And then he's just joking around saying, well, just put a silver bullet through me. It worked in the movies.
And then, you know, the final pages of issue 2, the change starts happening while he's driving the Batmobile. And he literally rips out of the Batmobile, still halfway dressed as Batman, but also as a werewolf.
I got like Rat Fink vibes from that. I don't know, just because it's so ridiculous. I love it. It's just, that was cool.
And then, you know, he busts out of the Batmobile, and he's confronting Talbot, who is squaring off against Batwolf.
I guess he was the stronger Lycan. You know, he won every fight pretty much, right? Talbot. Yeah. When they were wolves.
Wasn't there like an old TV series called Werewolf where it kind of it was almost like Highlander, where, you know, the older ones were the stronger ones. They had more experience, and basically, from what I remember, it's like this one guy had been bitten, and he was trying to track down the one that converted him and changed him, because the only way to cure the curse was to kill that one. And it was a pretty crazy show. I'll have to look that up. It was scary.
I like that last scene when they're both kind of howling together, because I feel like for that second they kind of share a moment together where they kind of accept, like, right, there's like a commonality right before they're about to fight, but it's like a really epic scene where for like half a second they're just both howling. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that he's still halfway in a bat suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that the Incredible Hulk aspect too, you know, where he would rip out of his clothes, but his shorts would stay on.
Yeah, always the pants.
Didn't Captain America change to a dog or something?
Yeah, Cap Wolf or something.
Yeah. So here we are, end of book 2. Batman is now a full werewolf, and it's about to go down. What are you guys' thoughts at this point?
Well, that's the first time we ever saw a Batmobile get destroyed that way.
I'm just waiting for Robin to show up so he can eat him. Be like, oh, there's another Robin.
That would have been hilarious.
Out of all the Batman mythology, I guess this is the first time Batman is a werewolf fighting another werewolf. So you have this big horror element, but it still works with Batman. Just, you know. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I like that scene in the car where he's changing.
Would have been cool if he actually put up more of a fight. I feel like the other wolf was just so overwhelming. Maybe because he was a wolf longer than Batman. But yeah, still very cool image-wise.
Well, I mean, Bruce Wayne at this point, he's like a werepup,
right?
Versus Christian Talbot, who he's been alive for a while.
And he's like the Louis of the batch.
yeah.
Goddamn Louis. So we're in the Louisiana swamplands.
Yeah, this is book 3 starts with a little flashback where Constantine's talking about the Dark Realm.
Dark Realm, yeah.
Looking at some, past adventures with his, the love of his life, Zatanna, that despises him at this point, but it's kind of funny.
This could have been a little moment for a Swamp Thing cameo.
Yes, I was thinking. I wish they would. I really, if we're going this far, to wedge in Swamp Thing and Etrigan somehow, some way would have been a lot of fun at this point.
Yeah. I mean, they're literally in the swamp. he had the day off.
Do you think sometimes like editors or DC are like, you're like, yes, you can do these stories, but there are rules and certain characters you can't incorporate or use?
Well, that was the weird thing with how Black Label started and then what it was quickly changed to, because it was designed in the beginning to be where anything went, they could do whatever they want. Like, and then the new ownership changed that real quick after the first issue of Damned came out. But then over time, it seems like this book at least makes it seem like it started to go back that way. Because after the first issue of Damned, like they had even gone back on allowing authors to include cursing or anything.
Right. Yeah, they really need to just allow adult themes in these graphic novels or miniseries now. I mean, it's just, don't limit storytelling. It's strange.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do that with Vertigo being back now.
Yeah, Vertigo. That's a household name right there, man. Hopefully that'll go.
Yeah, they shut it down, and that lasted for 4 or 5 years, and now it's back.
Return of the Trump.
I think too, like seeing this one scene where you see the flashbacks. If this book was a bigger event, I think it would have kind of opened up a few doors for a couple of side issues where, like you said, maybe a Swamp Thing or maybe more into a deep dive into like more Constantine and Zatanna doing some things between the main story. I would have been interested in kind of delving into that, seeing a lot of this art.
This came out around the same time a ton of other Bat minis were coming out as well. I think it might have just got lost in the shuffle a little. Because I think there were a lot of other ones coming out as well. So.
Especially with the art, like it's really over the top, and there's a lot of highly sophisticated compositions and just a lot of painterly themes, and it's a good mix of different media, which I think is just you don't see in these interiors all the time. And I felt like this book probably didn't get its full due,
Yeah, I would like to see Steven Subic's process because, like Times mentioned earlier, it does look like there's a digital aspect to this for sure, but it looks sometimes like maybe he's added watercolors on top of it. I don't know if that is just a digital effect or something, but yeah, it looks like there are some level of multimedia to this.
That fever dream part in book 2 is a perfect example of that. I'm glad you mentioned that because there's one panel where it looks like maybe he actually did some photography and used the negative of it for like the plants and things like that. I don't know. Maybe he's just that awesome of an artist to do that.
Yeah, even the way he captures, like in that splash page with the full moon, it's like a blue night background.
Yeah.
The way he captures texture in the fur and the werewolves is pretty cool. I'm not sure how he. I don't know if that's digital or hand drawn. You just can't tell, but it looks really cool. It looks because it contrasts the diffused other stuff where now you have something that feels like it's almost tangible. So yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah,
he's definitely the right guy for the job because you could kind of classify this as a horror story. So
definitely
he got the mood right.
Yeah, so now we're full on werewolf fight happening in Gotham. And
would you buy a fig of this werewolf wearing that Batman suit?
Dude, I'm already thinking about how to make a custom werewolf fig. I am 3 steps ahead of you, sir.
Do.
And at first in this fight, man, it looks like Bruce Wolf is going to win the fight. He throws this dude up against a building, and you got these guys saying, these winos going, "This is better than pro wrestling."
That comedic element was funny. They were like watching pro wrestling.
I mean, would you stick around and watch this fight if you were, just out on the street?
Fuck no.
No way. Because, I mean, at any point, I think they'd all turn their heads, they get a sniff of you and be like, "Oh, there's something we can eat. Let's stop fighting and let's just eat these guys."
Yeah, you look down and you see your arm on the ground. All of a sudden, shit, this is a bad choice.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. And now, this is the part where a little bit later, we've got Langstrom sitting in his office, and this is where he's like, "I never should have kept Talbot at that lab." So he reveals that they reveal that he was the reason why he was even there in the first place. But then he says, then again, where's a safe place to get to study a werewolf? So obviously he's got his own purpose for having him there. Maybe he's even looking for a cure for himself. But now he's changing into Man-Bat to enter into the fray because he feels some responsibility. And this is what's cool about this story is where Langstrom is kind of he's kind of a good guy where he's a protector of Gotham too.
Yeah, Langstrom's bat looks very demonic. It looks like a gargoyle, and that's definitely by design for the tone of this story. I thought that was interesting as well.
Yeah.
Going back 2 pages just for a second, there's this comedic undertone in this story as well because you have Gordon in his office and he just looks tired, like he's up all night trying to figure all this shit going on. He has his teacup next to him and he's on the phone and he says, "Disturbance outside, St. Anne's, giant dog people." like he's and he's on the phone and he just looks so fucking tired.
And that particular page, the way that Gordon's shown, the colors, the details of the room, the blinds and everything, it looks very Tim Sale Long Halloween.
Yes, it does. See, that's why I was going to mention this panel because it just and there's another nod to Tim Sale earlier when it's the orange background and he's in the foreground and all you see are like round white circles to show that those are his glasses. Was very Tim Sale-esque as well. I did notice those little nods. So.
Well, there's another little Easter egg. If you look on the drawer on Gordon's left, the lower drawer has a question mark.
Yeah.
A little nod to Subic's work on the Riddler.
Yeah.
Book that he did with Paul Dano.
Yeah. And you got some books that say Asylum on them.
Yeah.
Some fun stuff.
He's got
Jack
some
Oswald White.
Yeah, that's cool. And if you really want to get nerdy, the GCPD, I don't know, the way it's designed and the way there is a roundabout, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the 89 Gotham City for some reason.
Okay.
The layout. I have to look at it again, but it kind of reminds me of that for some reason.
In the far background, you've got the big W on top of a tower there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, his panels, you really could take it slow and take your time to really investigate and break each one of these down.
You don't know where he's going with it. I like it because it could be 2-3 different artists if you didn't know it was the same artist.
Yeah, and I like how some of the pages that really have a lot to them, like that page, that starts with the Tim Sale looking stuff, and then that shot of the GCPD. What you see Stevan do on pages like that is he's signed at the bottom of the page, like his sort of logo style signature is down there on those pages.
Yes, I kept looking at that. It almost has this photography negative feel to it when I started looking at it for some reason because of the black frame and then that. But I thought that was really interesting that he was signing those as well.
Like he's letting you know, no, I did this. This is not a ghost artist or anything like that.
I guess he's done almost every page. He did that, yeah. That's interesting.
He did a similar thing in the Riddler series too, but what he was doing in that one is at the bottoms of the page he would put his own name and Paul Dano.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like maybe sort of nodding to how they had crafted that together.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But it is cool.
It makes me wonder if, I don't know if he sells his original art or what, or if maybe these are like, he does certain pages digital, but then on certain pages like this, and like that one page where Man-Bat is fully, transformed, if he does that like traditional so that he can sell that, like at a convention or something like that. So that gets the autograph.
Well, we are in a world of AI now too, and also people drawing over other people's and all this other shit. So, I'm not too surprised that some artists are just really making sure that they know that this is their original work.
Mm-hmm. And shout out this last week, I saw where Jim Lee did a press conference where he basically said DC, as long as he and the leadership team that's there now, they will never be using any type of AI art in their stories.
I saw that too. That was great.
Yeah.
Because he said, within, human emotion and error, that's why we see someone's stylistic hand, or that's why we appreciate what they bring to the medium, right?
Except for Rob Liefeld, sorry.
I was watching a video with Rob, and he was talking because Youngblood is back.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the first issue of it, how he went through the whole issue after it was printed, and he went back page by page and counted how many feet he drew, and it was like 77 feet. But then he added that he didn't bother counting the pouches.
Yeah. I will give him credit. He is one of the best trolls in the comic book industry. I will give him credit for that. And his Tom McFarlane impersonation is it's kind of funny. Just because it's coming from
it rivals Tom's.
So they're still fighting. Oh man, one of my favorite panels too is when all the cop cars arrive.
Oh yeah.
It has that their headlights are like shining through the mist or the fog. That's so cool.
It's very cinematic, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
And Zatanna and Constantine get there through one of those interdimensional portals, and she's trying to break up the fight. She's trying to conjure up a spell that will stop him. And Man-Bat swoops in and gets in, takes him out. He like knocks her feet out from underneath him. I thought that was funny. Then
she has her third outfit on, her red dress. Interesting.
Yeah. Then which one of the wolves gets a hold of Man-Bat here?
In the blue with the blue panels?
Oh, it's
Is it Bruce?
Langton, yeah. Yeah, because you can see his chest. There's no logo.
Oh, okay. He basically rips off the wing of Man-Bat.
Oh, jeez.
And then just throws him away like,
Oof. Well, that shot of Bruce on the next page is so good. Look how detailed that is. You really don't know what this guy's going to do. Every page, it's just some different style.
That's the figure that Gramps wants right there.
Yeah, that's the figure.
You know they're going to make it.
Look at that lighting. That lighting's so perfect. Just little hints of who he is. The little white dots for the eyes. So good. That's nice.
Yeah.
He skips leg day, though, but I guess that's how he likes it.
So does Louis.
Goddamn Louis.
And then I like the fact that, Zatanna. Why do I keep calling her Zantana like Santana? Zatanna.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You were thinking about.
Zatanna. She tells Constantine she needs his power. Of course, he, his dirty mind in the gutter says, he goes like that night in Greece, and she's like, no, I need your magic, and they team up and they do a spell on Bruce to kind of knock him out. Alfred shows up in a helicopter and puts a net on him and flies him off.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the most Batman stuff I've ever seen.
Yeah, him in the helicopter.
And even Constantine's like, he doesn't even realize. He's like, Batman? He's looking up at the helicopter. Like, he doesn't put two and two together that, Bruce has been bit by a wolf, and then there's a Batman werewolf in front of him.
And then they take Langstrom into a portal to heal him. There's a hell of a lot of teamwork in this story, I tell you. Everyone's really coming together for this.
I'm just surprised that he can talk when he's in his Man-Bat form.
That's a very good point. I don't know if it was always like that. I don't think it was always like that. I don't think he could talk in the animated series.
One thing that we failed to mention is that when Christian Talbot transformed before this fight, he actually ripped the arm off of Sister Weeks. Because she was trying to basically stop him.
That's what I meant earlier. Like, she tries to help him to her own detriment. She ends up losing an arm before the end.
Alfred takes Batman away, but the other werewolf, he just kind of gets away and he runs off, and he's still on the prowl in the city, and he's confronting the ICE agents, and he's taking them out. I like that.
Yeah, they're lighting that werewolf up.
He's just tearing their heads off. They
said the werewolf entered the country illegally, so they're gonna shoot. Crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, and he takes them all out. I like that.
Takes them all.
Yeah, that's a beautiful splash page where he's like, just like, rawr.
So this is really funny because the page where Bruce is chained down and there's an overhead monitor that's pretty much covering his genitals for us to see. So when you see Alfred on the other end facing Bruce as if it's a FaceTime video, well, technically Alfred's going to be, pretty much lined up with Bruce's,
Batawang.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking like, man.
So you're thinking if Alfred yawns.
Yeah. Alfred yawns. That's good stuff. And Bruce is recovering. People from Potter's Den are visiting him. The two guys from Potter's Den. Worse than Skid Row. And then the other werewolf catches a ride back to Romania via cargo ship.
Well, yeah.
He's like, he got lit up with those bullets. He's like, fuck this.
Bruce kind of, he finally realized, okay, this is really happening, and he knows where he's going because he has this interlinked sense of, what did he say? I can feel the other creatures moving about the earth, and I know where he is, and he's sneaking his way back to Romania.
It's convenient that he found a cargo ship heading over there.
Yeah. With all those tariffs and everything, So,
and then we basically end where Bruce and Zatanna agree that the only way to maybe lift this curse from himself, but also to confront Christian Talbot, is to go to the old world, go to Romania where this all began, and I guess they fly a private Wayne Enterprise jet over there. Bruce is very sarcastic in this book.
He's very stone cold in this one. He's just ice cold.
Yeah, he has a bit of a strange attitude about him, and I think it's because, at least in part, because he's being afflicted by something that he doesn't believe in. He keeps trying to look for the science in it, and that's just not what's working so far.
Yeah, it's almost like he's kind of poking fun at Zatanna's, magic and her belief system in a way, because to him everything has to be science. He has to be able to see and prove everything for him to believe in it. And he's kind of poking fun at that until he finally realizes, I can't explain this, what's happened to me.
And I think that ties back to this whole liken, the DNA of that curse. It's so primitive and so back in the day that science can't even touch it, right? It's a real fucking old-fashioned curse that no one can explain.
Baked in the DNA of that curse, you mean?
This is old magic.
I'm just proud of the whole team.
He's like, we need to get some gypsies on this, and let's get this cracking.
Oh, I love that they brought the gypsy lady in.
So they just roll into a gypsies.
Well, you can't have a werewolf story without some gypsies. I mean, that's just kind of, part of it, because they understand the curse.
They probably created the thing.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Could be, right? It could be that origin where they understand it.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that, the Wolfman, the most recent one with Anthony Hopkins?
I wanted to see it.
It's great, dude.
In a year or two, right? Like, came out last year, or
no? It's been out several years.
There was another Wolfman movie that came out last year.
Oh yeah, but you don't have to watch that one. No,
okay.
No. This is the one with Anthony Hopkins and what's that?
Oh
Benicio.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it, but part of that involves the gypsies explaining. They understand the curse. They give the warnings about the curse and all that. And so I loved it whenever, they had the gypsy fortune teller, because basically Christian Talbot goes back to Romania and he first seeks console and tries to get some, help from the gypsy lady. And she's just like, I can't help you, All I can do is explain to you, what your fate is going to be. You know what your fate is. You know why you're this way. You know what the only way to end this. And she also tells him that, this is a little bit of karma because, when you were an army soldier, you killed many people. And he defends himself by saying, well, I was a soldier. It was my job. I killed in the name of honor, country. And, he's like, I was doing my job. But be that as it may, he still killed people. And this is kind of the Dark Realm's version of karma, putting this curse back on him. And she says, he says, I'm seeking hope. And she says, I'm giving you something just as powerful. It's truth. And he doesn't like that. It kind of pisses him off. Because then he realizes, you know what? I might as well just be what I am and not try to seek other answers because I can't change this. That's a hard realization.
Yeah, there's no happy ending to this, right? No matter what
Right.
you cut it. It's the thing that you have to respect about the writing is there's no happy ending. He's not romanticizing anything. It's like, this is real shit. And there is that karmatic connection because even though he was doing what he thought was right, and that could be in the context of anyone that served for their country, they always think on one side that they're doing the right thing, but there's another sense of loss on the other end that maybe he didn't even think of, right?
Right. I mean, and that's not a knock against any veterans or any of our military or ex-military at all. It's just
for sure.
The context of the story. She explains to him in a way that he can understand, what you've done and what is happening now. That's how it is, and that's
the universe coming back to
right.
him, right? His actions, his fate.
Exactly. And while he's having that conversation with her, Bruce and Zatanna are walking through the woods, basically kind of tracking him. Bruce knows that he's very close. Constantine has stayed back with Langstrom. Langstrom's trying to find a cure for all this, through science, still holding out for, some type of, medical treatment that could suppress the disease or whatever it is that makes them mutate.
Yeah, this is the point where nobody could really figure it out. Langstrom or,
right.
Gordon or Pennyworth or Langstrom and Constantine. Just it's it's kind of coming to this sense of realization from all angles.
Yeah.
Like
you said, I mean, there's a lot of teamwork in here, and they're all trying to help Bruce out in any way that they can because they've already seen what happens to him, and they don't want that to happen to him. I love this part where Talbot, he's having this inner monologue with himself, and he's just the night's coming on, the moon's coming up. And he's remembering that night when he was first bit. And he's that one splash page where it's him face to face with the werewolf that bit him in the woods. I was like, oh my gosh, that is beautiful.
Yeah, and it sums up how he's feeling and what the direction that he's headed towards, right? The sense of hopelessness. He has no control, just like when he transforms. His inner being he doesn't have a solution to this, right?
No. Dude, there's that one panel where that werewolf slaps the head off that dude. I mean, it's like his spine comes out of his neck. Jeez.
Like Jason. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And he's like, he's saying, if I'd only gotten away, or basically, if only I died that night, I wouldn't have to be put through this. But now he's just finally accepted his fate.
And then they have the final showdown between him and Bruce.
Oh, yeah. I love that, where he's tracking them just as much as they're tracking him.
Yeah.
And they come up on this clearing, and he just kind of steps out in the moonlight. And he says, I've accepted what I am, Wayne. Maybe it's time you accepted or do the same. So, okay, this is where my brain starts going off the deep end, where I'm like, okay, if he's a werewolf, he's got, an enhanced sense of smell. Do you think that he knew, okay, Wayne is Batman that I just fought back in Gotham? The same guy? This is the same guy?
Yeah, he would probably have to be able to pick up on that, right?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Especially if they're that connected, I'm sure that he can, focus.
He knows his spawn, right?
For sure,
yeah. We know
and that, that being someone who we figure knows, neatly that gets cleaned up before the end of the story, where that wouldn't be a problem anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where the art, in my opinion, starts kind of looking kind of like Jock in a way.
Yeah.
I felt like a lot of the earlier pages when they were zooming into people with the inks, I was like, it felt like Jock for a little bit because it's a little loose sometimes, but here this is very refined, right? The usage of the darks and the inks, but this is next level. Like each one of these last panels is gold, 10 out of 10 perfect, right?
Yeah,
They really
some good detail.
Very graphic, very
Colors
cinematic.
are good.
Yeah, this is like top-notch stuff.
It's another section where, like you mentioned, it's sort of page to page. The styles almost change every couple panels, and you can see where it looks like different artists. Like, some of that looks like Jock. I can see pieces that kind of look like Werther Dell'Edera. There's a page that looks like Simon Kodransky.
And some of the color palette choices, I think, kind of remind me. I pick up some Francisco Francavilla, and
definitely Francisco.
Well, I love that.
He did variant covers for this
series.
He did.
Yeah, they're in the back of the trade. I'm picking up on some Victor Gig as well.
That guy, he always gives. He's always giving us more. What a legend. How would you like to be Miss Zatanna stuck in the middle of these fighting beasts?
There's that one splash. I'll leave it at that, boy.
Are you gonna say she's in the thick of it?
Oh man, the P to the F to the G, man. That's funny. And they're going at it, and
again, like you said, that older wolf kind of gets the better of him, right? There was one point when they were in the woods where Zatanna talks about, circling back to the gypsies, where she says that there's this gypsy lady that her father knew. And it turns out it was the same lady that Mr. Talbot had visited as well. During this fight, Zatanna just basically kind of has to transport herself out of it before she gets her head ripped off and meets up with the gypsy lady.
Then and then they know that there's only one way to end this.
Right.
So she teleports back and stabs him in the neck. But I'm guessing it's with like silver?
Yeah, gypsy lady gives her like a box.
Yeah.
And she says it's the only way.
Yeah.
Oh, she does say that death to the one that infected the other will free its victim.
Yeah. So it must have been
and then there's that funny bit of timing there where she steps back through, shanks him with that just as John was coming through with the cure that Langstrom had worked up.
Right. She shanked him right in the neck too. And she says, "I'm sorry," and he replies, "Don't be."
Yeah.
Like she did him the favor.
I was also thinking that too. Like at that point, at the end, I felt like with the whole sense of him just feeling hopeless, he was just. I think he knew that him dying would just be the best thing for him because he would live with this curse forever.
It's kind of like
he says earlier that he had tried many times to end his own life.
Yeah, he had a death wish. They had that panel where he like jumped off a building and it didn't even didn't kill him.
It's like that in that scene from Monster Squad when they finally shoot the werewolf and he's in his human form dying and he's just like, thank you, you know. So sweet. So.
Yeah, that's a ways after the kick him in the nards part.
Yeah. Yo, that would have been a great nod in this story. Had something like to that extent. Kick him in the nards. This man's got nards. Nards.
Stab him in the nards.
When we did that Dracula actors game with Kelly Jones, the Dracula from Monster Squad was one of the top 10.
Oh, nice. That was a good one. He was a good Dracula.
All he wanted was the amulet.
Yeah. And to pick up those little girls and be like, give me it, you bitch. So we cut over to the first time we're seeing daylight in this story. They're outside the church. I guess Bruce Wayne is giving away clothes and advice and like they asked for.
They'd said something to Alfred where, because Alfred approached the lady in the hospital and said, we're going to take care of all your bills. And her two friends said, oh, that's the only time you guys show up is when someone's in the hospital, basically.
Yeah.
And
like when you feel bad that things got wrecked, then you show up to help.
Right. So apparently that word got back to Bruce, and he's trying his best and doing what he can with the others to, help out the poverty, the poor, and work in a soup kitchen. And
yeah. This did remind me of the scene from Batman the Animated Series when he has like a dream or a flashback, and there's a lot of like homeless people around him before he gives somebody like some money and the guy's happy, and then Bruce Wayne feels good, and then more and more people crowd around him, and he's giving money until he doesn't have any more on him, and then he sheds a tear. Like, I thought that was such a heavy scene, and for some reason this part of the story reminded me of that as well. Like how Bruce, he does always try to give and do right by them.
I wish this was a side of Bruce that we saw more. But
no,
Bruce,
you like the DKR Bruce. That's the one you want. Not,
well,
you don't want no pen.
That's true. That's Batman. Bruce, I'd like to see more of this Bruce. Batman, no, we want the DKR Batman. But it also ends on a good note because, this says it's 2 months later and Bruce is obviously healthy. He's not transforming into a werewolf anytime. And kind of looks like him and Zatanna happy.
That's really heavy. Like the last panel is him and Zatanna pretty much kissing and levitating in the air with with doves around them in the church mile. That's really intense. That's very straightforward. Like, okay, these two are together. So he was really going for that as well. It's really because Bruce's love life, there's always been so many suggestions and nothing ever. There's something that's never materialized or hinted at. No, this is like he is with Zatanna in the story. So that was it. Just like in Justice League Unlimited, he was pretty much with Wonder Woman. So there's no there's no gray area. Yeah.
I'm like thinking, man, if you got a girl that has magic powers like that, you better walk the line, buddy.
And them fishnets, boy.
she will turn you into a toad.
Toad. Goddamn, Louis.
So do you guys want to rate this book?
Ratings.
All right, go first, bro.
Well, what's the system? You got to give us the metric.
Five.
For Gramps, it's going to be how many briskets on the grill. But,
oh man,
briskets.
That brisket boy with that mac and cheese.
I don't know if we do it out of 5, right? I would give this high 3s, almost to a 4 for me.
Yeah,
I felt like I felt like
what was it missing?
I felt like for the 4 issues, maybe they may have crammed too much. I think it was a little fast paced, but for a 4-part series, I think it was very good. I think the art was definitely did not get its credit. I felt like this art was like next level. Like we said in the show, the mixing of all these mediums, temperatures, the fever dreams. I think this book could have definitely gone a little bigger and got more recognition for what it was. Especially towards the end, I feel like in my head, I'm like, this could maybe be an animated series. I would love to see this as an hour-and-a-half snippet. Just really a lot, maybe in a lot more gory adult themes where like these werewolves really tear it up, right? There's a lot of space for that. They can really lean into like this whole horror theme, and
definitely.
I like that they didn't really make it. This is not really a Batman story, right? This is really a redemption story, a faith story, and the mix of all the characters. I think everyone was really level set, and no one really took it over. So to me, it was interesting, and I think I'll give it another read in another year or so, and see if I get a different perspective on it. So I give it close to a 4.
Cool.
Okay, 4.
What you got, Robin?
I'm going to go about the same. I think, like Steve was saying, it could have done with maybe being a 6 issue instead of a 4. I don't think we got enough time with Talbot dealing with his situation. Like we got those looks at him, sort of thinking about his past, his road to where he got, but I didn't feel like it was enough time to make you care about him. I like Steven's art and everything, and the story was solid. I just think it could have used a little more room to breathe.
Bat Force Times, what you got?
I'm gonna go 4.5.
Ooh.
I think I don't think I'd want it dragged out too much. I don't think Talbot's that interesting of a character where I would need another 2 issues. I think this was quality over quantity. If you want to just go 4 issues, we already spoke about the art. I think the art, the mood, the tone, the color palette. The guy understood the assignment really well. It's a good Batman horror mini. It could easily be in continuity. It could have taken place in 1 or 2 nights. So it's I guess there might be a little hole here and there for the writing. That goes with almost anything. But as far as somebody who really gravitates towards spooky noir stuff, I think they did a really good job with this. And I like how they played into everything from faith to spirituality to science to black magic to the realms of hell to poverty and even a moral compass from a soldier transitioning to a monster. It's I think it was very dense. Yeah, it can seem a little fast paced because there was a lot of elements involved, but it really is the perfect foundation for a really cool animated horror movie with these 2 characters. I mean, when you read it and look at it, you could really see how an animated film would play out right in front of you. So I really enjoyed it. I guess it's because it's my cup of tea, so that's why I'm going this route. But for anyone that that likes this kind of spooky stuff, I mean, I think it was very enjoyable. I'm very happy with it. So
and definitely just in time for like Halloween, right? Which is the perfect book for that.
Yeah, all them ghosts out there that are waiting for people to yawn.
So you give it what'd you say, a 4 or 5?
I'm gonna go 4.5. Yeah,
4.5. Okay.
Because my level of enjoyment was really nice with this one. So I really, I got what I came for, I should say. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of meet you on the middle. I'm gonna give it a solid 4. I do agree. And again, I think it could have been 1 issue longer because I agree with Robin. I'd like to see just a little bit of time when Bruce, after he's been bit, for like a month to the next full moon, instead of it just being bang, bang, bang every night's a full moon. He's got to go be a werewolf. I'd like to see him deal with that stress and that fear of what's going to happen. This is going to happen to me again, and see the anxiety that he goes through for that 30 days leading up until, he knows I've got to find a cure. I've got to find this solution here. That would have been cool to me. But, the pace was, like what Time said, is that we got what we paid for. We wanted to see Batman. We wanted to see werewolf fighting. We got to see Batman as a werewolf. I didn't expect that. We got to see a lot of characters that you wouldn't think work together, but they do in this environment. I thought also, like what Time said, man, there were so many issues that this touched on, even socioeconomical issues that, we deal with in reality here. I thought that was a nice touch.
And if you've never seen Zatanna in ripped jeans before, now you can, and a very skimpy top. That's just, but like their goal was, so I think maybe the reason it's 4 instead of 6 issues is because I think their tone was that it was a race against time, and in doing so, they had Constantine and Gordon and Pennyworth and Zatanna and everyone and Langstrom rushing to find the solution in every way possible, whether it's science or it's magic or whatever. I think they wanted to establish this quick pace. Like, we got to get this solved now before it's too late, kind of.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's what they were going for, but very cool. I would love to see an animated film of this, man. If whoever we could reach out to, plant the seed, I think would be really cool.
Well, here's the beauty of this is that I think this leaves room for a sequel, because that werewolf bit some other people in Gotham while he was on a rampage, right?
But he's dead now.
Oh.
So they would, that would have cured their infection.
He got the shank.
Dang.
Rodney Barnes is very proud of this, and he really likes the way it came out. So we should hit him up and just plant the seed, because I wouldn't mind more of this kind of lore that he's established. It works. It's cool. It's good.
Very cool. All right.
All right. Happy birthday, Robin.
Thank you. Well, that was Batman Full Moon. This was Bat Force Radio. Thanks for joining us again. Happy Halloween, and we will see you on the next one.
For anyone listening, Grandpa Batman has a ghost in his house. Passed by his room while he was reading a good old trade one night. To go to the front of the door, never turned around to come back. He's like, God damn! Yo, I remember when Robin sent this meme saying, every time you yawn, a ghost puts his dick in your mouth. Happy October, everybody.